And good morning, Newton Falls. Hi, everybody. I'm Dave Lynch. This is our Newton Falls regular update that we do on Tuesday and Friday mornings. Just a little way of staying in touch with the community through some video, audio communications with our Newton Falls update done on a regular basis. It's around 7:30 in the morning. And today I have a question for everybody. Are you ready for some football? Yeah, that's right, folks. The OHSAA just a couple of days ago was telling the newspapers that we are, in fact, gonna have some football. And, a good way to kick off the season is to talk to the man that is going to restore the glory to the Newton Falls Tigers. And, Greg Lazari was on WKBN just a little bit ago, and we saw this interview.
The last time Newton Falls qualified for the state playoffs was back in 2002. In fact, it's been 11 years since the Tigers have posted a winning record. But this season, they have a new head coach with a familiar face and a simple philosophy on how to turn things around.
Well, the first thing we had to fix is us. We have to fix our attitude, we have to fix our demeanor, we have to fix how important football is to them. So before we worry about who's on our schedule, we have to fix us. And that's not me just talking, that is really what we have to do.
Greg Lazari has been a teacher at Newton Falls for the last 12 years, and this will be his second time serving as the Tigers head coach.
Give me a line, give me a line, give me a line.
We're talking about being positive. Like, we're not going to use the word can't. And, the most important play is the next play. So when we speak about picking each other up, because none of this is the end of the world. In light of what's taking place in the world today, football is a small part that we get to get a little normalcy. So we want to be pride in who we are and being on this team.
The Tigers had a lot of young players on the field last year and are hoping to reap the rewards of that experience this season. But if there's one thing Coach Lazari hopes to drive home with his team this year, it's
competing in our physicality. It's not okay not to compete. It is not, and that's what our guys have to understand. And when we step on the field Friday, doesn't matter who we're playing, we're going to compete. We're going to do everything we can to make sure that when they come here or we go there and they play us, they know they played the Newton Falls Tigers, and we're going to leave a memory.
For Sports Team 27, I'm Ryan Allison.
All right, folks, and that brings us to the man on our live line right now, the man of the hour, and that is Newton Falls head football coach, Greg Lazari. Good morning, Coach. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Good morning to you, and thanks for having me on.
Sure. We're glad to have you. This season marks a return to the coaching box for you. How did that happen, and what does it feel like? This doesn't happen very often.
No, it was kind of a rare opportunity. Actually, I sat in with the interviews. I was going to stay out of being a head coach, but being that I've stayed here as a teacher for the last 12 years, I've seen some of the trials and tribulations that the program's gone through, and how important it is to have a teacher in the building with these guys, trying to be a focal point in the school as well as the community. And unfortunately, as far as availability of teaching positions, after sitting through some of the interviews, we just couldn't make that happen. And then it just kind of transpired where, I said, well, I could come back here and try and fix this. And, we discussed some of the problems with the program, and I just thought it was the right opportunity to, come back and, try to contribute and get this thing fixed and move in the right direction and create a program that, we could all be proud of, and something that the community could be proud of.
Sure. Well, Coach, there was something you said that's been resonating in the community, and a line that was in the newspaper, you said it at KBN. You said, we have to fix us. That's not necessarily the kind of thing you hear football coaches say. What did you mean when you said, we have to fix us?
Well, it's no mystery that, the last few years the program has struggled. And from what I've seen, and we've been undisciplined, both in the school and on the field. You can see that in the 15-yard penalties. We need to take pride in being part of the program. We need to get the numbers back up where kids want to be, Newton Falls Tiger on the football field. we want to focus on us. I mean, when you go through rough times, which I've gone through rough times as a head coach as well, you want to focus on the things that you can control. We can't control who we're going to play. We're going to line up and we're going to play. But what we want to do is we want to make sure that our kids represent the school and the community with pride. And every time we step on a football field, they're going to compete. Doesn't matter who they're playing. So that's what I talk about, us. We want to fix us. We want to create a team. We want to create a family. We want to create a community that we're all proud of.
Coach, if you could, describe for me the difference between physicality and some of the things that happened last year. What I mean by that is you mentioned you want a team that has physicality, that sort of demonstrates that it has a physical prowess. Yet last year, there were an awful lot of unnecessary roughness penalties that really led to the demise of several of those games last year. What's the difference between those two concepts?
Well, the big concept here comes back to, like when I said fix us, we got to talk about the discipline of it. We're going to play between the whistles, whistle to whistle, and we're going to play within the rules. What I want a team that's physical is I want us to compete for 48 minutes. That means all 4 quarters of the game. I mean, we're going to come out, we're going to be there, we're not going to fold. We're going to pull for 48 minutes regardless of the score, regardless of the situation. I want our guys to go out there and play, compete, and be physical between the whistles for 48 minutes. That will be the difference.
Yeah.
And coming back to the penalties and those type of things, well, that's what we're going to eliminate, and that's what we're focusing on all summer.
Sure. Coach, physicality for football teams usually means winning the war in the trenches, controlling the line of scrimmage. I presume that's part of what you mean as well.
Absolutely. That's, those poor guys really don't get their name in the paper enough. Our offensive line and defensive line, that's how you win football games. Those are the most important positions on the field. Those 5 guys on the offense, doesn't matter who your quarterback is, doesn't matter who your offense is, or who your running backs are. Those 5 guys up front, they dictate what's going to happen. And right now, we're pretty excited about the 5 that we have, and there's 6 or 7 guys that can play in there. And a lot of them had experience last year. We don't have a senior on that offensive line if we were to start today, but they're all juniors and a couple sophomores that got playing time as freshmen, and we're excited about that and the future.
Yeah, Coach, I would think some people would say there's a little bit of pressure on you because the last time we had a winning football program is when you coached the program. Thomas Wolfe wrote, "You can never go home." And yet, to some extent, people are talking about you like the return of Don Shula or something. How does that feel?
Well, there is a little bit of pressure. The thing is, though, I've never left. You can't go home, but I've never left. I've been here. I've stayed there as a teacher. I've always talked to the kids about football there. I'm excited for the opportunity to come back. I think it's a process that's going to take a little bit of time. I want us to get out the gate and get going, and we'll just see. I'm excited as far as opportunity. What I want to do is I want this program to be something that can be respectable. I want something that the kids can want to be part of. We want the little kids looking up at the older guys like, hey, that's a role model. That's what I want, and I want it to be a source of pride for the community.
Yeah. Coach, in watching the KBN story, and to some extent getting the same from the Tribune Chronicle article, you seem to emanate a little aura of toughness, which, by the way, I think fans are kind of hoping and expecting a coach can impose upon a team and radiate from the way the team plays as well. Is that consistent with the aura that you're trying to project?
I would believe so. I don't claim to be a tough guy. I just kind of come off that way. Yeah. I've been coaching football for 25 years. I had the opportunity to play all the way through high school and college, and coach a little college ball. So it's kind of who I am. It's kind of what my demeanor is. So yeah, your personality does kind of come across in your team, and that's where the toughness and the compatibility and those type of things come across. And that is what I want my team to represent. Yes.
Coach, What is it about stern, determined Italians that make them great football coaches? I think of Sam Rutigliano and certainly the great Vince Lombardi. What is it about that combination that brings you to the gridiron?
That's a really good point. I think that we're stubborn people. I mean, I just think that's the way it is. You can bloody my nose, but I'm still going to come after you. You think of the Rocky Marcianos of the day.
Yeah.
We might take a beating, but we're going to keep coming after you, and that's what football's our venue to do that, I guess.
It's interesting you say that. A few weeks ago, a mob said they were going to tear down the statue of Christopher Columbus in New York City at Columbus Circle, and the Italian-American community surrounded that statue, and that statue was not coming down. I think this team can draw a lot of energy from your personality, Coach. What do you think about that?
I hope so. I really do, and I hope that from in my coaching staff, we have a good staff we've been able to put together. I hope we can exude the idea that there are going to be rough times in the game. There's going to be bumps in the road, but you got to get up, and that's what makes football such a great thing. You get knocked down, you got to get up, you got to compete. We're going to play, and that's our field, and we're going to make you earn every inch that you take, and that's what my coaching staff's trying to push, and that's what I definitely represent.
Yeah. All right, Coach, here's your chance for some social commentary. In our society, I at least have perceived that we've had this concept of victimhood emphasized over and over again, and I just sense that we're becoming soft, and college students are concerned that everything in the world offends them. But on a football field, it's a great equalizer, and you mentioned during the interview you wanted folks to compete. There's no room for the concept of treating and feeling that I'm a victim on the football field, is there?
No, there is not. There's no time to feel sorry for yourself, and I think that's a big deal with what's going on in society today. That kids and students have opportunity to compete in sports. You got to go. Your feelings can't be hurt. You might drop a pass, miss a tackle, miss a block. But we're preaching here at Newton Falls that the most important play is the next play. And you know what? I'm going to let you know. And we tell our players that if a coach isn't coaching you, then you need to worry. If you're just standing over there and we're not talking to you and trying to fix you and correct you and make sure we do things right technique-wise and fundamental-wise, then you better worry. So our guys have, I know, like some of the motivational things that have happened so far this summer. You see some wide eyes that hasn't happened here in the past. But the kids are buying in, and I've been very, very pleased with what we've gone through so far this summer. So we're excited. I mean, we're going to go out there on August 28th and do our best, and we're going to compete, and hopefully by then, we'll have a good product on the field.
All right. Just one last point, almost a non-football issue, but the OHSAA seemed to make it pretty clear about 2 days ago in the newspaper that they're anticipating a regular full season. What do you see in the tea leaves? Is that the kind of thing that at least from your perspective you think that we're about to experience?
It's hard for me to predict what's going to happen. I know that was it was reassuring news. As we keep marching through this summer, and it's all uncertain. It's definitely a fluid situation that can change at any moment. We're moving forward under the pretenses that we are going to start a regular season. Our 2 days are we're planning on going August 3rd, and we're going to move forward. And we're going to play our schedule that comes out in front of us. And I think the only thing we can do as coaches, as players, as Newton Falls Tigers, is be prepared to take on the challenges as they come. It's our hope that we start the season on time and we finish on time. But if there's a bump in the road in the middle, then we all adjust.
Well,
and that's
Coach,
how we have to be able to adapt.
Coach, I'll tell you that there are many motivational speakers that say attitude is everything, and if that's true, I think we are in for a very exciting season. On behalf of the community, it's great to have a sense of confidence in the leadership of who's seizing the reins of the Newton Falls Tigers football program this year. Coach, welcome back, And
you.
congratulations. And is there anything we can do for you over at City Hall? You just give us a call, because we are proud of our Tigers. And I'll tell you, already, I'm proud of our coach. Thanks a lot, Coach.
Thank you. You have a great day.
All right, you too. We'll see you. All right, that was Coach Greg Lazari. Well, if that doesn't get your blood flowing, I don't know what'll get your blood flowing. You know, we have been out of the regular realm of operations for so long now. Some of us have almost forgotten what it's like to get really excited about something. And you can just hear it in the tone of voice of Coach Lazari. I think there's going to be a return to a standard of excellence and having no patience for teams that do not practice elements of discipline. You know, offside penalties usually are just a function of lacking discipline. And I think with what Coach Lazari brings to the team is something we're all going to feel good about. Maybe all of us in Newton Falls can rally around this fall. I'm certainly going to do that. Well, folks, that brings us to the conclusion of another update from Newton Falls, again on Tuesday and Thursday mornings. And as I say at the conclusion of each one of these, God bless America and God bless the city of Newton Falls.